Hello everybody, Tony here, and welcome to another video. And I'm sure a lot of you all know what today is. Today's 9/11, the day that changed America forever and impacted a lot of people. And I made a video on this, but I said that I'd be making yearly 9/11 videos. Because this is a day that impacted a lot of people, and as of today in 2018, 17 years later, it still impacts a lot of us Americans and other people around the world. And joining me today is my buddy who did the 9/11 videos with me last year. Go ahead and say who you are.
James Farina.
Hello, James. And we pretty much already talked about how we learned about 9/11 and how we first learned that there was a problem in New York and stuff like that, with the fire of the Twin Towers and stuff, and we already said that. But today, James here and I are going to talk about the impact it had on us and lots of other Americans, and the impact. And I'll go first here. And the impact that it has affected on me is that you still cannot believe that this actually happened, because it almost feels like that it was a movie, because on how many people have died and how many people lost their lives, and how many fighters died, and how many people died in the buildings when they collapsed and stuff, and yet it was just a big impact on all of us. For firefighters, people who lived in New York mainly, people who flew planes, kids, people who just mind their own business going to work and stuff. It affected a lot of us. And the impact still lives on to people to this day. And it always will live on until the day we die and stuff. I mean, what's the impact it had on you, James?
Well, it doesn't really have much of an emotional impact, but more of a mental. I mean, like you said, it does feel like a movie, what happened to the people at 9/11. I mean, it almost seems like a scene out of San Andreas or Die Hard.
Yeah, I know. That's what it seems like. It seems like something that did come out of a movie, because it didn't seem real at first. It also felt like you were asleep having a dream, because like I mentioned in my first video.
It was a total nightmare.
Yeah, a total bad dream, because like I mentioned in my last video, I just learned about the World Trade Center being on fire when I was just minding my own business, eating breakfast downstairs, getting ready for school and stuff, and it's just that small things like that impacted all of us. I may have brought this up in my last part, so I may end up actually repeating stuff that I said before, so I apologize there, but it impacted even people who kids just going to school. Recess times was spent watching the news about what happened with the Twin Towers when you learned that they collapsed and stuff like that. It just felt like a not so ordinary day at all. I mean, it impacted. It didn't sure, I should not be impacted by this much, because I wasn't in New York when it happened. I don't live in New York or so, but it's just the fact that it happened in our country. It at times makes you feel vulnerable and stuff like that. It makes you feel like what's gonna happen in the future, or we can have something else happen.
Like the paranoia from the 50s.
Yeah, I know. It makes you believe and feel like something else is gonna happen, in a totally different state that can impact you. There have been lots of changes to the United States after this happened. One of the main things that changed was airport security. We have to take your shoes and belts off and empty everything out of your pockets now when you go to airport security with the TSA thing, just so you can get on a plane and stuff like that and such, because they really tightened a lot on airport security too, to prevent this mistake from happening again, which I can't completely blame them, or I can't blame them for that and stuff. And I remember the first time I went to Las Vegas, when we stayed in the hotel New York, they had a lot of twin tower postcards and pictures and stuff like that, because this had happened a few weeks after 9/11 and stuff like that, and it was still just like an impact for people working there at the hotel, because New York is like a little New York in Las Vegas, and that affected that too. What else you gotta say here? I mean, like, how about the impact it had on us Americans and stuff like that, James?
Well, I think I might have said this in the first video, but after 9/11, everybody started having like moments of silence, like every single school year on 9/11, and it was kind of a somber moment for everybody.
Yeah, because like I remember like on like the end of the week when it happened, there was my school had like a prayer service in church to honor those who died and stuff like that. And a year later, my eighth grade, I was in eighth grade a year later. My eighth grade class decided to make a prayer service in church, like have a mass for them, lighting candles, singing "God Bless America," and talking about the events of what happened with Flight 11 and Flight 93 crashing into the towers and stuff like that and such. And like, well, at least I think that I can't remember. I know the American was Flight 11. I can't remember the United one stuff. I got that wrong there. I apologize there. But like, it was just nobody. It wasn't a crying emotional mass ceremony, but it was an emotional ceremony in our thoughts. Like, you thought about the victims. You thought about everyone that got affected by it. Mainly the people in New York. And an interesting thing is that that same year when I was in 8th grade, I went to New York. I saw Ground Zero, and I saw like where the Twin Towers used to stand. We saw the big hole and where it used to be. Digging up, they were building stuff like a memorial there and stuff like that. And there was a cross there too, and you just prayed by you just like silently said a prayer by the cross, and just yeah. I mean, I took pictures, showed it to some friends, and they were like, "That's Ground Zero. Holy cow! It looks bigger up close." Because like from a distance, it didn't look that big, but when you actually see it, oh, it's big. All right, it's big, and like. It was, yeah. I didn't want to mention that because I thought it would be too emotional for me to talk about, but it's not too emotional for me to talk about because it's proof that I went there and saw it. I wish I don't know where the pictures are at. I wish I could find the pictures, but I can't find them at the moment. But yeah, it was a cold, rainy, cloudy day, and we went there and just went and looked and stared at where the Twin Towers were. Probably like good 10 minutes or so, remembering all those people. I'm not trying to. I hope this doesn't upset anybody. I do apologize here if that does, but that's the thing. You go and look, and you go there and stuff like that. At the time, it was like a year later, you still cannot believe that there were two big skyscraper buildings that used to be there, that used to be the World Trade Centers and stuff. And what did you think about that with what I just said, James?
Well, that's the first time I've ever heard that, but that is just depressing to the core.
Yeah, it is, because like it's just like how it's just that. It almost made you believe that they were digging a hole to build something new there, and like, yeah, I mean, I just never really brought it up because I thought it'd be too emotional to talk about, but I guess it wasn't emotional after all the stuff. But yeah, that's just the thing. And like as you got older and older, like 2 years. I mean, 2 years later, it still had the same impact and stuff like that. Just till you still remember the day. You'll always remember the day, even if you're 5 years old, 7 years old, 8 years old, 11 years old, 13 years old, and stuff like that. You're always going to remember that day and stuff. You're always going to, no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
But You got anything else to say?
No, I think we've said pretty much enough.
I have one thing I want to do before we end this. Let's take a moment of silence here and remember all those people who died on 9/11. We're gonna have a little moment of silence starting now. And that's pretty much all I gotta say. We, the United States, are stronger than ever. And united we stand. I, Tony, and me, James, are proud to be Americans. And we always will be proud to be an American.